And if you breathe, you're definitely going to watch the forecast here of the biggest dust storm, pretty much in recorded history, historical. The loop takes African dust forecast Saturday and Sunday through the southeast U.S. And the Saharan dust vulnerable groups, skies over Trinidad and Tobago. First time in recorded history, dust reaching those levels. Leading edge front into the Caribbean through the day. By tomorrow we'll get better images coming out, but Scottish government failure to meet emission target blamed on cold weather. What will the US dollar look like once we tally up all the debt accumulated in this never-ending money printing fest by the Fed and all the central banks globally? Did you know it took nearly 8 years for the markets to recover after the 2008 housing bubble crash? Do you have 8 years to wait for the next recovery? With this much inflation on the way, only one investment stands out: gold. Patriot Gold Group has no fee for life IRAs where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver. At Patriot, you work directly with an owner and avoid paying absurd broker fees. Call today or request a free investment kit. PatriotGoldGroup.com. The link's in the description box below. And the motion loop here showing you the dust formation coming through the Caribbean, taking a sharp turn in the Gulf of Mexico and up into the southeast U.S. This is going to be a historic event for the southeast U.S. and different parts of the United States in terms of dust concentrations. Ryan Maui here with the statement, Sahara dust layer intensity off the scale. And it's tracking the progress from Western Africa each individual day down the chart. So as we march in through the end of the month here, the 30th of June, that entire graph will be filled out, but each day successively needs to be added to the next base layer below so they can see how the dust and the concentrations are adding up, moving through the atmosphere. And off the scale intensity, verified here also Trinidad and Tobago, first time in recorded history. Air levels and dust reaching this hazardous concentrations, reaching over the islands. Clear blue skies to yellow skies, and this will continue to intensify through the next 24 hours as that dust mass sweeps past the Caribbean and moves over into the United States and northern parts of Brazil. And also Puerto Rico at the very leading edge, beginning to get some reports in now. Images of what it looks like in the preceding front. That's with a camera on island, but when we're looking at the satellite, this is how it's progressing. You can actually see that dusty edge front there. Behind it is something a little bit thicker than what we're seeing right at the boundary edge. The yellow box indicates the heaviest. So what you're looking at in the previous photos in the satellite was not even in the yellow box. So the amount of density of dust that's going to be sweeping through, I'm interested to see what kind of images will be coming out through the 23rd and 24th around the Caribbean. Should give us an indication of what to expect in the southeast U.S. because 18th, 19th, and then 21st, as we can see in Trinidad and Tobago, and that will continue to get darker through the next 24 to 48 hours. And I encourage you to do this. Just go around and look at the different cams and look at all the feeds that are starting to now talk about the story. And I'm really surprised even on the Weather Channel in the US, they're not talking about this at all. And you think with historic levels of dust coming and people to prepare with even, more breathing apparatus or get the house ready with different types of air filters, whatever it would be. Incredible how it's at the very last minute before they'll come out and tell you. Government releases here Saharan dust to vulnerable groups, pretty much anybody who breathes. And I'm wondering how this is going to trigger breathing problems in addition to what's going on with the vid already and how this is going to couple into the narrative moving forward. Look for an uptick after the weekend of some sort of twist in the news, a mesh between this and the vid. Satellite image here, and you can see the dust continues to extend. So even though it's finished over the Caribbean in the densest portion, it's still going to continue for another week or so in a wispier, lighter fashion. This is considered the second pulse, if you will. And this is how the dust forecast moves into Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, parts of Louisiana, North Carolina, and down in Texas. That seems to be the very high densest for the weekend. Progression here. And I've linked everything below in case you want to chase down the videos and watch the animations yourself. This will be on the 28th at the apex of the height in the dust. 10 Zulu, bringing us into 18 Zulu. And you can see how it still stays sort of in the same position all the way to 20 Zulu. So for at least those 10 to 12 hours, it doesn't seem like it moves much. It'll be stuck in that stationary position there, and then it should unlock and then spin off coast. And staying with more bizarre gases and atmospheric information here, the heralds Scottish government's failure to meet carbon emissions blamed on cold weather. Beast from the east. Remember 2018, incredible cold, as well as this year's been under the averages as well in the Isles. So what the government's saying here in Scotland is that the emissions increased because the cold increased. So they had to have more heating so people could survive in their homes during extreme cold spells. They had to use a different energy mix. A rise in emissions. Oh no. Heating for buildings. So you can expect as we go into this grand solar minimum and the winters keep intensifying and even colder than the last, that these lofty goals might not be met because, well, people need to stay warm in their homes and nature's going to throw a curveball at us. Grand solar minimum inbound. And after watching Christian with Ice Age Farmer and Curtis Stone over at The Urban Farmer had a great interview together, I clicked on the metrics to see how many subscribers were gained from that interview over on Christian's channel. Lo and behold, I have been flat. 0 subscribers since June 2nd. The line is a flat line. That's why I moved over to Patreon. Grow your own food, supply your own energy, and your own solutions. Adapt 2030. Support me there so I can bring you more information like this. And I do go into other subjects that I can't talk about here on YouTube. Join me there. Patreon /Adapt 2030. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.